Hello, Dan Baines here at Lebanon Circle Magic, and it's that time of year again for the annual Lebanon Circle Krampus effect. This year is the 5th effect that I've done, so it's become a bit of a tradition now, so it's kind of expected of me to come out with something to do with the Krampus around this time of year. Now, in the past, I've always done things like I've done a card trick, I've done a change box, and last year's, of course, was free due to COVID. But this year I wanted to take things a little bit larger. I've always wanted to do a full-size Krampus doll. So that is what I've actually started making. I'm just going to show you how far I've got at the moment. So those of you who follow me on Instagram will have seen that at the beginning of the week I started sculpting a Krampus head. Now, I had no idea what direction I was going to go with this. I knew I was after a kind of folk art style, something that maybe looks like it's been carved. I didn't want it to be too perfect or expertly sculpted, more like something that would have been whittled from a piece of wood or just, you know, sort of rustically carved. So I'm really happy with the design I finally got. It's got lots of character. Looks, you know, it's kind of the mix you're after something that looks quite sort of evil and scary, but if you look at most of the Krampus art, he's quite happy as well. Obviously he's happy because he's getting his own way and he's dragging naughty children to hell, but he still has that sort of happy elf aspect to his facial features. So I've kind of retained that with this. Kind of also mixed it with a little bit of a sort of traditional pagan green man design. But you will eventually have fur all round of his face as well, and he's going to be painted. So this is just the head in its basic form before it gets made into a mould and cast. We've also got the hooves. Nice simple pieces here, quite large. I've gone for oversized hands and feet. As you'll see in a minute when I show you the body, you'll see why I've kind of gone for that sort of design. And the hardest thing ever to sculpt, I really do not like sculpting hands, so they kind of look more like chicken's legs or chicken's claws, but I'm quite happy with the hands. They're very simplistic, but they've got that sort of gnarled, sort of wizened long fingers, which I was after, which is the sort of hands you'd expect the Krampus to have. Now the body, I've gone for a very long body, so kind of inspired a little bit by Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas with Jack Skellington, but also things more like in modern folklore, so like Slender Man. So he's going to be oversized. So you can see that his body is very, very long legs, long arms. As you can see, the hands, if I can get the right hand, are going to fix on like this. So he's got particularly long grabbing arms. I can lie him down and sort of semi-position a hand. And then of course, you know, we've got the head on top of the body. As with the Krampus, it's going to be covered in fur, so this is just the basic armature of the prototype, and obviously the long legs, and all of that is going to be fixed to a round base. So as I say, I'm going for more of a, as with all the Krampus effects, it is a Christmas decoration that has a magical sort of aspect to it, so you can place it out in your house, and someone can ask, you know, what does that do? And you can take it to one side and you can actually perform something a little bit creepy with it. Finally, it wouldn't be the Krampus without some screaming children. So inspired by the screaming children in all of the artwork, the old Krampus artwork, we've got two children, a boy and a girl, praying with their hands together. These are going to be chained and attached to the Krampus, and they're in this little sack here. And the base is just going to be it's just a basic round wooden base, and it's going to be like a small festive diorama with the Krampus stooping over the two children in the basket, and then you're going to be able to perform a mystifying effect with it. It is something that I've not done before, this particular effect, so it is something brand new. It's very good. It's based on a very old trick, but it's also one that you don't see very often, so it's going to be lots of fun and something that you'll definitely want to perform this Christmas. So all I'm going to do now, I'm going to go off and I'm going to create the molds for all of these components, and then I'll be back in the next week with another update and we can see how I'm getting on.